Hi everybody, Alex Deploy here from Expert Forex, and in today's video we're going to be talking about things like leverage and margin calls and all those good things nobody really wants to talk about. But it's very important that you appreciate what happens when you do a Forex trade, especially with the changes that have recently happened to the US, where 50-to-1 leverage has been imposed, and in the European Union, where 30-to-1 leverage has been imposed on majors and 20-to-1 on minor currency crosses. So very important that you understand this. It will impact your financial future, and you need to know how to manage this. So there's a few concepts that we need to talk about, and again, this is all information that you see when you trade, and you really don't pay much attention to it as much as you should, and hopefully you'll understand these figures a lot better once we've gone through them. So your account balance is actually just the amount in your account plus positive deals minus negative deals. So if you haven't closed any deals, it will be exactly what you've deposited. If you've closed positive deals, your account would have gone up, and if you've closed net negative deals, your account will have gone down. So your account balance is always a reflection of what has happened after you deposited money and closed deals. It doesn't include open deals. Very important to understand that, because a lot of people look at the account balance and think that's what's going on in their trading, but in fact that's very far from the truth. Then you get a next item which it's called equity. Now the equity is really your account balance less any negative trades that you might have open at the moment. Your equity could be higher than your account balance if you have open deals that are positive at the moment. So your equity is a better reflection of what's going on because it takes open deals into account. Then let's talk about margin. When you open a transaction, you have to finance that transaction. Now the broker contributes some finance and you contribute finance. So when your leverage is 100-to-1, it means that you need to contribute 1% of the deal and the broker will contribute 99% of the deal. Every transaction is actually financed, and the broker takes your contribution that you make out of your account so that it's not available to you, because it is the broker's money to finance your trade. When the trade is closed, the finance goes back because there's no finance required, there's no open deal. Now, free margin, this is in fact the true state of your account. Free margin takes into account your account balance, your open and closed trades, and also the margin that you have given the broker to finance your deal. So it actually says this is what you've actually got in your account at the moment. You don't really have $1,000. You don't have $909. You actually have that because I've got $666 of your money, which I'm using for margin. So very important. A lot of people think, oh, why did I get a margin call? I had $1,000 in my account and I got a margin call. It's because they're looking at this, or they're looking at equity, and they should be looking over here, because if this number goes negative, you will get a margin call. Okay, so I hope that gives you a feel. Now we're going to go through a few examples, and hopefully that will even clarify it more for you. Now here's an example of what typically happens, especially with EA traders, is they cannot understand what happens when they have a balance of $1,000 in their account. Their equity is quite high, it's 881, and then suddenly they get a margin call. Now why that is because the broker's taken an amount out of their account for the margin to finance all the open deals. Now after the broker's taken all of that out, the free margin in this particular case is only $81. Now if these trades, these 8 trades that are active at the moment, if they go more negative and they eat up that 81, it's very quick to eat that $81 up. If that goes to 0, there will be a margin call. A margin call means the broker will close your trades. That's all it means. The broker will say, enough, I'm going to close all your deals. So the broker will close all these deals. Now, if the broker closes a deal in time so that this free margin doesn't dip below zero, you are okay, because what the broker then does, it says, okay, I've closed all your deals, I will give you this $800 that you gave me to finance those deals, I'll give back to you. In this particular case, this trader might have a margin call, but at the end of the day, the trader will get $800 back in their account, because that was margin that the broker used. Now, I hope you can understand all that, because it's very important. Some traders actually trade margin calls. They risk their whole account, and they're not scared to, because they know they're going to get a lot of margin back. That's how margin works, equity works, and your free margin. But the big number to always watch on your account is the free margin, especially if you're using EAs. Now, in this example, we're going to take a macro account lot, which is a 0.1 lot. Now, a 0.1 lot generally represents $10,000 of currency. Generally, sometimes it's euros, sometimes it's pounds, but generally it's $10,000 of currency. So the trader, if it's 100 to 1, the trader would have to contribute 1% to the deal. So you divide it by 100, by 100, and you get the amount that the trader has to contribute. So for every deal that the trader does, the margin will be $100, and obviously proportional to the lot sizing that you use. So if the trader risks 10% per trade, which is not really recommended, but I'm using round numbers to make this easy to understand, you would expect that he could trade 10 losing trades before his account is used up. But the trades below show that only 8 trades are possible because of the margin requirements. So if you have one transaction, and there's one transaction, what happens is the broker takes $100 of margin. The broker also takes $3 of spread, and that is why your equity is 997, but your free margin is 897, which is the margin and the spread deducted off the balance. Now you can see how misleading the balance is, because your account, actually the value of your account at that point, in that point of time, is 897. But let's say you then let's say this trader then opens 7 more trades, and here I have an example of that where the trader opens 7 more trades. The broker will then take $100 for every trade that was opened. There will be a bit of a loss on the account. So the equity, remember, represents your balance less your loss, and that is your equity balance. Your free margin is your equity less your margin, and that gives you the free margin. So this trader now only has $80 in their account, but they have opened 8 trades. If they do have a margin call, they'll have a loss of $200, but they'll get the $800 back. Now that is typically a trader that is not in the US and is not in the European Union, because the European Union, the leverage is 30 to 1, and in the US it's 50 to 1. So and you can still most probably get 400 to 1 or even 1,000 to 1 if you really snoop around outside of those areas. So let's have a look at the European Union trader who has to trade with a 30 to 1 leverage. Let's look at the same transactions again and see how they affect it. So they're going to trade 0.1 lot, a macro lot, and they're going to use so much currency. So the trader has to supply 10,000 divided by 30 in margin. That's what that means. And therefore, for every transaction, the trader has to supply $333.33. So here's an example of an actual trading account using that particular margin. Again, you have your balance of $1,000. You have equity, which is the transaction less the spread, and then you have margin, which the broker has now taken to finance this transaction. He's taken a lot more than the other broker, because 30 to 1 is a lot lower leverage than 100 to 1. So the free margin, the actual amount available for the trader to trade further, is only $663. On this side, I've got an example where I've now opened 2 trades, and the broker has now taken two margins, which is now $666 for margin, and there's a small loss. So the free margin is now only $272. As you can see, if this broker was just a macro lot size broker, the trader cannot take another trade of one macro lot anymore, because the trader needs $333 to finance those lots, and the trader only has that much in the account. So because of this leverage, the trader can only open two trades compared to the 100-to-1 trader that can open, let's say, eight trades or 7 trades, depending on the profitability of those trades. So it shows you how restrictive the leverage is. The leverage basically restricts the trader from overtrading, from opening too many trades. But again, should these trades go bad or get stopped out, the trader will get the margin back. And strangely enough, in both cases, if these two trades go bad and they both have a 100 pip stop, the account will revert to $800. And with the previous one, the account will also revert to $800 because the margin that was returned would be $800. So it's all interesting stuff. Both traders will be in the same position should things go bad. So again, just to repeat, the European trader can only open 2 trades. The trader that has 100-to-1 leverage can open a lot more trades. There's more tradability with that, and that is why when you're trading an EA, you want the highest possible leverage, 400-to-1, 1,000-to-1 if you can, so that your finance is not tied up financing deals, but rather than making profits on profitable deals. Now the other thing is that this trade is limited to 2 deals. Now should these deals go positive, the trader is going to make $200 profit. Now should this trader go positive, the deals will supply $800 profit, because we're talking about a 100 pip target and a 100 pip stop. So this trader will make $800 profit. This one will make $200 profit. So again, you can see the impact of leverage. It smothers profitability if you are a good trader. Okay, then just some general observations, that you generally will get your margin back when you get a margin call or you close a deal. A lot of traders don't think, they think if you have a margin call, that's the end of your account, it goes to zero. No, you get a margin call, and the bigger your margin, the more you get back. And that's why the European Union have increased the margin, so that bad traders get more back. Low leverage, like the European Union, again prevents overtrading. So again, the guys with low leverage only can open 2 trades. The guys with high leverage can open lots of trades, 7, 8, a lot of trades at the same time. All right, so again, because the margin is high in Europe, you get more money back from your broker on margin calls, especially if you've only got 1 or 2 trades open. So just repeating a few things that I already said, when you're trading EAs, it's very important to understand and manage open deals. If you've got an EA that's opening hundreds of open deals, very dangerous if you've got low leverage account. Then your account balance is not important when you have open deals. Don't look at your account balance if you've got open deals. Look at your free margin. That is the most important thing, because if that goes to zero, you get a margin call. So you always have to watch your free margin. Also, the mistake a lot of people do is they say, I'm going to risk the same amount of my account balance on every trade. And that's wrong. You should be risking the same percentage of your free margin, because your free margin is actually the money that you have available to trade with. You cannot trade with your account balance, because that is not available anymore if you have open deals. So always try and get the highest leverage if you can, if you are a successful trader, because you are going to be able to capitalize and make money on other people's money. And then always try to get the lowest leverage, the very lowest leverage, if you are an unsuccessful trader, because you'll get more back if you get a margin call. Now, if these things are a little bit complicated, just re-watch this video a couple of times until it starts making sense. apply it on your own account, see how the margins work with your broker and that type of thing. And hopefully I'll have given you some ideas, especially if you're trading EAs. Please go and watch that free margin number all the time. That's the most important thing to watch when you're trading EAs. So if you've liked this video, please give the video a like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And if you have subscribed, please click the bell so that you get notified of any new videos that I bring out. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.